Arizona Cardinals. This team is kind of interesting because usually they start off hot and then fall apart. This year they didn't even start off hot. But they didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. He's back. They just lost with him last week to a good Vikings team, I believe. Let's look through this team and decide. Well, first of all, what's your impression of the Cardinals? Do they really give the Niners a legit scare? Beat them twice last year.
Are they the scariest team in the NFL?
No, that's the 49ers because they beat the Rams.
All right, so the Cardinals, right? So
Yeah.
I think the important thing you need to know about the Cardinals right now is that it's November, and that means Call of Duty is out. And
This is true.
The being the quarterback of the Cardinals is not Kyler Murray's favorite pastime. It's playing
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
That's a fun game.
It's great. It's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
And people are actually more successful than you doing Call of Duty.
Although I heard that like video game experts kind of start going past their prime in their early 20s, that they're like hand-eye coordination kind of starts to go. So anyway, Kyler, you might want to stick with football.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So yeah, okay. So he's documented. His play goes downhill. But let me be devil's advocate here because I'm like the only Cardinals fan in the world. I'm not a Cardinals fan, but I think I like Kyler, and everyone really makes fun of him because he doesn't do his homework. That's true. He should probably do his homework, but I like Kyler. Okay, and when he has DeAndre Hopkins, those guys generally win more than they. I think they're 9-3 in their last 12 games together.
Wait, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about their head coach?
Trash.
Okay.
But I mean, how do I feel about the Niners head coach? Right? I'm not a huge Kyle Shanahan fan.
I know you're not a huge child, but I don't think you would put him in the trash category.
No, he's not trash. Absolutely not. But let me keep making an argument for why. Here's the thing. I think most Niner fans are like, oh, we're definitely going to sweep the Cardinals this year. Whoa, slow down. I mean, I think they'll beat the Cardinals once, but this is a team that lost to Denver and Chicago. And one thing that the Niners have a pattern with, they've lost to every single mobile quarterback on their schedule so far this season. Every single one. And this has been an issue for years. I don't know if it's a wide nine thing or whatever, but Kyler Murray is as mobile as any quarterback in the league, and he has given them problems with his legs. And I just want to point out one stat. DeAndre Hopkins is back. So far this season, when targeting Hopkins, Kyler Murray's quarterback rating is 119. There's still a really good connection. The whole offense goes through him. No, they can't run the ball at all. But you don't have to run the ball against the Niners. You can just screen them and then mix it in with some downfield like scramble plays. That's my defense of the Cardinals winning maybe one game against the Niners. What do you think?
So, like, I see where that's a good point, but I think DeMeco Ryans is a bright guy, and I think sometimes with all his success, I think we forget like it's only his second, not even his full second year in the league as a DC. So remember, Solid wasn't immediately like immediately awesome, right? So and he did have problems. Like remember, he had problems with the mobile quarterback too, and then he eventually found some answers.
Yeah, year four he figured it out. But yeah, with a lot of help from me. A lot of help from me.
But I think early on he didn't have. I don't think he had all the tools in the cupboard. Like later on, he did. He had more tools.
He had
in the cupboard. Like
Ray Armstrong. Remember Ray Armstrong? Maybe that's who Colin Cowherd was talking about. Armstrong.
The red wave.
So he pretends to be an expert about sports 7 days a week, and now he's going to pretend to be an expert about politics. I like him, man. There is nothing he won't pretend to be. I like that about him. All right, keep going.
So, I think that I think he could start figuring it out. I mean, he's faced enough mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if he came up with some new wrinkles in the defense where he can slow Kyler down. I mean, take care of if you take care of Hopkins, or you can also do it. What they kind of do to the Rams is they kind of suffocate everybody else, let Cooper Kupp go off, and then just suffocate everybody else and just control Kyler. Because Kyler will do kind of what Stafford does, is like let him make some mistakes, and but then you got to capitalize off of those mistakes.
The difference is that Kyler's much more mobile than Stafford.
Oh,
and they do have some speed on that offense. And Rondale Moore and Hollywood Brown, like they have more talent than the Rams. They're a better team than the Rams. who freaking suck, although they are champions. But I just want to say, like, winning a Super Bowl these days it's great, but it doesn't mean that you're a dynasty. This is the salary cap era, and like this whole McVay could be gone next year. So just because they won something last year doesn't mean anything for this year. That's a team that's going to finish last in their division this year. So I don't know why I'm talking about the Rams. We're not going to talk about the Rams anymore because they don't matter. We are talking about the Arizona Cardinals. Their defense sucks this year as opposed to the last. They got, they no longer have Chandler Jones. I don't know. They no longer have Patrick Peterson. I don't know if they had him in a while. But they have J.J. Watt, who's still healthy.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I don't think like the Niners, and I'm going to say this probably for most of the people that are on the schedule, like they can't walk in there and be like, "Oh, our defense is just going to win the game for us," and then like our offense can put up 13 and we'll win. Like, they've.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I do feel like the Cardinals can actually expose the weaknesses in the Niners defense. It's a very good defense, but even when they play well against mobile quarterbacks, that like 3rd and 13, that 14-yard scramble on 3rd and 13 is coming at some point in the game. It happened against Denver. It happened they were terrible against Marcus Mariota. Just awful. He got whatever he wanted in that game. And that was the last time there was Mahomes who got whatever he wanted too. So if you can like sort of beat that initial wave, make the initial wave, a pass rush miss, if you can run a little bit on your own, Niners are on their heels fast.
I'd be interested to see if Salah, or sorry, not Salah, D'Amico comes up with something. I don't know, maybe
he needs to
maybe use Ward as a spy on Kyler. Like,
I like to rush 5 against a mobile quarterback like that. And what you're saying is I'm rushing 5, but I'm not really rushing the quarterback. What I'm doing is I'm taking away a scramble lane. Because if you rush 4, there's always one gap that you can run through, and you're saying, hey, man, keep this guy in the pocket. The ends cannot rush past Kyler Murray. You cannot rush further upfield than Kyler Murray. You're creating a cage. And what you're saying is the guy is 5'9". He can't see if he's in the pocket. So keep him in the pocket. I mean, honestly, that's what I would do. I think that's your best move against him.
I think what you have to do is you can rush 4 or rush 5, but like have one be a late ad. So like what you kind of do is you let the quarterback kind of declare where he's
Fair.
going, and
Yep.
then
Yep.
the last person adds in.
I like that.
Right.
I like that. That's clever. But you know what I'm saying? Like there needs to be
better
to rush 5 than to rush 3 on 3rd down, because you don't want to just invite him to scramble, and he doesn't want to throw anyway. Just saying.
Yeah, and you can kind of do that and make it sort of cloudy for him too. Is like you can have a defensive lineman do that. You can have the defensive lineman do a late ad. Let Kyler declare where he wants to go, and then let one of Ebicom let Ebicom then go hunt him.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of maybe having Ward do that, because Ward has enough. Jimmy has enough speed to track him down. He likes hitting, he likes tackling anyway, so he's a good tackler. So
yeah. That's a good call.
You'd have some confidence that he could take care. The Niners, I believe in the past, have fiddled around with letting Fred Warner be the spy on Kyler, and didn't have.
Not fast enough. Not fast enough. Yeah. What I think is interesting about Arizona is they're a tough matchup for the Niners, as we've kind of laid out. But they're not a tough matchup for the Rams. They lost to the Rams already. And they're not a tough matchup on the Seahawks because they can't run the ball at all. And they're just a drop-back passing team. And all of a sudden, go against the Rams and do that crap, like Aaron Donald's in your face and you lose. You do that against the Seahawks, they have really good corners. And it's not easy to just pass the ball down the field against them. Like, you do that against the Niners, like, it's hard to go right up in that Niners front seven. It's very stout. But if you do what the Cardinals do and throw screens and extend plays, I think that's your best bet against the Niners. So I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, the Cardinals. But it's just a tough matchup for the 49ers, as we've seen the last 2 seasons. 3.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like he's going to have – D'Amico's going to have to come up with some answer to screen game.
Yeah, he's getting screened to death the last few weeks. And the only reason it didn't work for a whole game for the Rams is that's all they had. Yeah, they didn't have – it was like their fastball, and they had nothing else.
Right,
and the Cardinals had more.
And they only really had one kind of weapon to screen to. I mean, yeah, you can count the
and he wasn't explosive.
The tight end a little bit, but
No, this team has Hopkins, Rondale Moore, Hollywood Brown, a lot of speed. I mean, in that sense, they're more like the Chiefs. They're not the Chiefs. The Chiefs were well coached and well prepared. The Cardinals are probably, well, they can't fire their coach. They just extended him. They're a joke. But they do give the Niners a tough time. So I think this is an interesting game. I actually picked the Cardinals to win it, the one in Mexico City. I think the Niners probably should handle business at home week 18 with the playoffs on the line. But I kind of think they'll split. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, Mexico, I guarantee Mexico City will be a sea of red.
And that's all that really matters.